Okay.
Hi, I'm Matt Johnson. I'm interviewing my grandpa, Dwayne T. Johnson, at his home in Salt Lake City, and he was a veteran in World War II. Grandpa, were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted. I, most of those days, biggest share of them enlisted, but there were some drafted. Of course, we all knew that the draft would get us if we didn't enlist. Excuse me. So we it was just easier to enlist and go to the branch of service you wanted to.
Why did you join?
Why did I join?
Yeah.
Well, because we had a war on everybody. It was what we often call a total war. Everybody in the world, everybody in the United States was involved in it. Not just the people who went to service, but those who stayed home. And it was something we had to do because we knew we had to stop the aggressors.
Did you have any boot camp experiences?
Yes, I did my boot camp at the Great Lakes out of Chicago. And I was there for, I don't remember, several months involved. It was just like every other boot camp. You just march and run and wait and run and wait and run and wait. Drill, but then I went to, I had passed a test before I went in, before I signed up with the Navy, which test gave me three ratings, so that after I got out of boot camp, I went to Herzl College in Chicago for radio tech training.
Why did you pick the Navy?
Well, I had been in the National Guard in high school, and I didn't like crawling around out in the brush on my stomach, and so I decided I didn't want anything to do with that. So I signed up with the Air Force. I went in and volunteered in the Air Force. And they accepted me. They sent me home for 30 days. I was to come back in 30 days and go in. And during that 30 days, there had been so many sign up to the Air Force that the papers recorded they sent 50,000 of them back to the infantry. And so I decided they weren't going to put me in the infantry. So I hurried up and went out and took the test and went to the Navy.
Okay. Where exactly did you go in World War II?
I went to Chicago, and then I was in Herzl College in Chicago. And then I dropped out of Herzl College to sign up for the submarine service. And so I was waiting in Herzl College for 2 weeks to go to New London, Connecticut to go to submarine school. And while I was waiting, just before I got ready to go, I got a telegram that said the school was full. They couldn't take me. So then I had to change all over again, and I joined the Armed Guard. I got them to let me go to what's called the Armed Guard. The Armed Guard is a division that on all merchant ships, civilian merchant ships, they had the guns on them, of course, the big guns, and the 20mm guns. And they put 27 Navy men on those civilian ships. And our whole purpose was to stand guard and to man the guns. And if we came under attack, then we took over the ship. The civilians went down below. But that was the Armed Guard. And they sent me from Chicago, they sent me to Gulfport, Mississippi, to go through a short school there for the Armed Guard. When I got down to Gulfport, there were 3 of us from Utah. We went down to about 5,000 men to Gulfport, Mississippi. And they pulled the 3 of us out and told us they wanted us to be school teachers. And I didn't want anything to do with being school teacher in Gulfport, Mississippi. There was nothing to do down there, and so we argued with them for a while, and finally they said we had to stay there and take 2 months training for a school teacher. Then we had to take 1 class through the training, which would last for 3 months. And we finally agreed to do it and said we'd do it if they'd let us, after that was done, they'd let us go out to sea and all on the same ship. They agreed to that. So I had to go to school there for a couple of months, and then I taught one class which took 3 months. And we taught them math and a lot of other things. And but I was there for about 5 months in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Did you see combat?
I went from Mississippi. We got on a merchant ship, and we went to South Pacific. We went to we didn't see combat. We were shot at many times. A submarine came up one time and shot at us a couple times and missed us. And then we got in some air raids, a lot of air raids down in the Philippines. You couldn't say I actually got in combat. Well, I guess we did. Then we were in the Philippines, and we averaged about 5 raids a night, Japanese planes, for about a month, until they finally shot them all down. But other than that, I didn't see any land fighting.
Were there any casualties in your unit?
Not on our ship. We didn't ever get hit. We got missed, but we did. We had one fellow get one fellow got a Purple Heart on the ship, but we had so many raids at night, we got so sleepy that we'd often come back and go to our bunk after the alarms had gone off and the air raid had been over. While we'd come back, and this fellow got in the wrong bunk. He generally slept on the bottom bunk, and he'd just roll out on his knees, hands and knees, and get his life jacket and go. Of course, it'd be pitch dark at night. And this night, why, for some reason or other, he got in the top bunk, which wasn't his. And when he went to roll out, why, he fell off the bunk down on the steel deck and broke his jaw. And they put him in the hospital, and they gave him the Purple Heart for it. That's the only Purple Heart we got.